Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy CowboyJobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, we know life would be no good without you guys because you guys really make my day. Having a communication with you guys from all across the United States as well as the world. I'm telling you, I'm seeing people from countries I didn't know existed. So shout out to all you people around the world that are watching the Jobu Sports Report. I appreciate all of the support. Man, and it was a long night last night. We were making a doorway in a brick wall, so we were literally pounding on brick walls. And sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall with some people out there, some of the trolls and things that just don't get stuff, but it is what it is. But we've got Zeke Elliott back for 2 more weeks, possibly, in this never ending merry-go-round that just feels like it's Groundhog Day. We get a restraining order, and then it gets kicked out. We get a restraining order, and it gets kicked out. And I said that at this point that I don't think he's going to win. I think it's just delaying the inevitable. Um, there's a little bit more positive news from the last reports and stuff, but we're basically waiting for a judge to come back from vacation. But here's what you've got to understand. This is not about if Zeke Elliott is guilty of domestic violence, because clearly it can't be proven in a court of law. What this really is does the NFL, because of the collective bargaining agreement, as an employer, can do what they want? Understand, it's not about whether Zeke Elliott is innocent or not. It's about was the punishment that the NFL said he has to take is legitimate because of the collective bargaining agreement. It's the same thing about Jerry Jones talking about his players can't take a knee. It's still the exact same thing. Does the NFL have the power to be all end all and to make decisions that may go against a person's constitutional rights? That's what it boils down to. And in the same thing about Colin Kaepernick, where it's collusion, that case is about the same thing. It's about the power from the collective bargaining agreement between the NFLPA union versus big business, the NFL. Unfortunately, once it got out of Texas and is now to the Fifth Circuit Court in New York, New York City, don't trust Tulsa from New York City, and don't expect courts from New York City to rule in your favor if you're not big business. That's my point. Now, maybe, Zeke Elliott's attorneys have been able to pull rabbits out of their hats. Lord knows they're probably buying a couple of $1 million yachts and stuff from all the legal fees and things in here. But in the end, I don't believe they're going to be able to win. And the problem I have is right now, Zeke Elliott is not focused on football like he should be. You can't be with all of this stuff, with the wave of emotions that are going back and forth one way and the other. You're going to play this week, you're not going to play. The ups and downs, it's got to be depressing. To have your name run through the mud when you feel like you didn't do anything wrong is playing with the emotions. With the exception of one quarter against Green Bay, Zeke Elliott has not been anything near what he was last year. And even with that quarter, he's only averaged 3.7 yards versus last year 5.1. Some of that's the offensive line, but some of that's got to go on Zeke as well. And here's the other problem. Okay, right now, had he taken the suspension in the beginning of the season, we would have been without him this week with San Francisco, but then he would have been back for both Redskins games, both Eagle games, and a Giant game. By kicking it down the road, I'm trying to pull up the schedule here real quick. 2 games that you should be able to win without him. The 49ers and the Redskins, he's going to sit. You want him for that stretch run. Unfortunately, my computer is acting really, really slow today. You want him there for those last 5 games where we have to take on, the Raiders, we have to take on the Eagles, and going into the playoffs. Let's say this injunction goes We got 2 weeks. Maybe we get another week or a week after that or something like that. It keeps kicking it down the road. If we end up going down too far, you may miss them for the playoffs and then going into next year. So in my mind, my argument was, I don't think you're going to win in the long run. And in fact, you're going to lose even if you win. Because here we have, finally, my computer finally warmed up. Okay. Our next 6 games that would have been him being suspended: Redskins, Chiefs, Falcons, Eagles, Chargers, and then Redskins. Okay? So those are the games he would have missed, and then he would have come back for the New York Giant game. All right. I like to think that we have a pretty good chance of winning 4 of those games without Zeke Elliott. When you look at Redskins, when you look at Chargers, when you look at Redskins, and 49ers. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I got the 49er one missed. I'm sorry. Redskins, 49ers, Chargers, and Eagles. I think you've got pretty good chances to win those without Zeke. Especially the 49er and the Redskin game. Now we're kicking it down, so he may miss the Chiefs, the Falcons, the Eagles, the Chargers, and the Redskins. And the Giants. Games that you're playing in your division, and then he's only coming back for the last 3, which would be Raiders, Seahawks, and Philadelphia. My contention is it'd be better to miss the Redskins and the 49ers game than missing some of these other ones down the stretch. And it could be that this injunction goes for 3-4 weeks, and all of a sudden now you're talking about missing the Raiders game or the Seattle Seahawks game. But what do I know? Now back to the 49ers. The 0-6 49ers. Don't take them lightly. The 49ers, they got blown out by the Panthers 23-3. But every game since then, they have lost by 3 points or less. And we're talking about not necessarily a lot of bad teams. I mean, you're talking about the Seahawks, they lost 9-12. The Rams, they scored 39 points on the Rams, 39-41. They lost to the Cardinals 15-18. They lost to the Colts 26-23, and the Redskins they should have beat 26-24. So this team has been close every single week, and they're playing their first home game in a month. Any team, as the New York Giants just proved going to Denver, can beat you. Don't take them lightly. They're still an NFL team that can still play and can still win. So we'll be going into this a little bit more in depth later on this week. It's just so much else has been going on with Zeke Elliott. It's hard to focus on a game, but the team needs to focus on having a game. So as always, friends, I guess it's good news. Zeke Elliott is not suspended. I'm hoping that he comes in this week with his mind right, ready to rock and roll, because whenever he's there, we need him to be playing balls to the wall. I'm Mark Holmes. This is CowboyJobu, and thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Away at it, you can get through a brick wall. Right, Mike? That's what hard work will do for you. And getting through to some of you guys, it's literally like chipping through a brick wall. I'm tired, boss. I'm real tired.